Hi friends, thank you for tuning back into another video by me, Celise. Nice to meet you. If you're interested in follow me on Instagram, that's __ Celise. I'll leave it right here. And then I also have a podcast called Feeling and Healing available on Spotify, on Spotify, iTunes, and also on Amazon Music if you would like to listen. All the information will be down below, but then I'll also leave the Instagram that you can follow also. I just thought it would be fun to kind of talk about and reflect on the year we are having and we're still having. We still have 2 full months left before we can be over with 2020, and most of that year, like 7 months of the 10 months, 7 of the 10 months that we were, in this year were spent during a pandemic. And I just thought that maybe we should talk about what we learned during this thing, or at least the lessons that I've learned, and I think a lot of people can agree with. I have my little handy dandy notebook with all of my notes, and also I have my water. Stay hydrated, folks. So I think the biggest thing that we've done, I think the biggest lesson that we've learned is to kind of slow down, pause, and take a deep breath and kind of reflect on how we're living our lives. Because a lot of the time we spend it at work. Like, if you think about it, if you're working a regular 9 to 5, you're working 8 to 9 hours at your job, and typically someone's awake for maybe 12 to 16 hours. So we're not even at home. We're not enjoying our hobbies. A lot of that time is cooped up in those few hours before work and after work that we have to ourselves and to our family, to our home. So it's just like, this was perfect for, I know it was stressful, like, don't get me wrong, I'm still stressed about it, but it was definitely like a time to kind of like slow down and kind of like think about our lives outside of work, because a lot of us are very into our work. Our work is our lives. We see our coworkers more than we see our own family, and to me that's actually very wrong. A big thing that I've learned during 2020 is the fact that self-care is so important. At my old job, and I talk about it more in my podcast if you're interested in hearing the details on why I quit my first full-time job, and I just realized that like I was putting my health on the line, my mental health. So during the last few months of my employment there, I was experiencing a lot of physical changes. I've had migraines that I've never thought I can have. I'd had heart palpitations. I've had really bad night sweats and nightmares at night. And all of that stopped as soon as the pandemic stopped, and like not having that anxiety of going to work the next day. And there's a multitude of reasons why that occurred, I'm sure, but stress and not taking care of myself and not making sure I have that time for myself was really taking a toll on my body. I was definitely feeling that burnout because I was just trying to prove myself and do as best as I could to my best ability for their approval. And in the end, I was hurting myself and I was doing more harm than good. And that's not what we want to do to ourselves, because if we don't have our lives, can't work. And that shouldn't be why we are alive, is to work. I'd rather not be working and have a strong mental wellness than to be struggling so mentally and emotionally every day, just working a 9 to 5 just to make sure, make ends meet. And I understand that a lot of people like the luxury of doing that. There is a luxury of doing that. I understand. Don't get me wrong. And I understand that people do struggle with their jobs every day and they can't just quit because they have family at home or bills or things like that. So I totally get it, and I am saying this in the most humble way that I can without making it seem like it's not a problem for other people. A big one I'm sure we all can agree on is just being more responsible for our health. And it's really upsetting the statistics of overweight and obese individuals in America, being that I am an American. And I just there was a time where I've went on birth control, so I've gained a lot of weight in a short period of time, and I just didn't feel right. And what I did was I just went off the birth control and got back to, got my body kind of back to where it was, but I'm definitely holding on to some of that birth control weight. But I just feel like there is we have to take care of ourselves. The quality of life will be enriched if our bodies are healthy. Your body is your temple, and if you're physically not well, it's a ripple effect. So everything, like, you can't have one without the other. If your mental well-being isn't great, then obviously it's going to affect your physical well-being, and then your emotional well-being, and all of these other things. Like, please eat that extra vegetable and go on that walk. Like, those things are very important. It's seeing how the virus is specifically going towards affecting people more who are immunocompromised and already have other underlying conditions. It's easy for it to affect them more than it does for someone who is completely healthy. And I'm grateful that I am physically able. I have healthcare insurance. I can get my blood work more than once a year. Like, I'm so grateful that I have the luxury of being able to take care of myself, and also have the luxury of having a full refrigerator of food, healthy foods, where I can cook for myself and things like that. Like, all of those things go into play as to why health problems are more prevalent in different areas. So I understand, but it just breaks my heart because our bodies are our temple, and without our body, what are we supposed to do? How can we live a full and fulfilling life if our body, our temple, is not acting at its fullest potential? Another thing that kind of, and I think a lot of millennials can speak to this, or I don't know, maybe not, but just how quickly life can change. Like, overnight, it was like an overnight thing, not going to work and coming back home and just having all of this free time. And people are dying. People die every day, but people are dying, and we're hearing about it all the time. And it's just like, wow, things could change quickly and we don't have a plan. We have to be able to plan these things now. And it's so important for us to be proactive. And my next point is the importance of having an emergency fund. And I just think it's so crazy how so many of us, so many Americans, I only could speak on Americans, but so many Americans can't say that they have a 4 month to a 6 month emergency fund, me included. Like, it's just crazy, like, because you don't think that'll happen. A lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and it's so sad. It really is so sad. It really breaks my heart. This is what an introvert needed. Like, I can't believe, like, even through all of the chaos, like, I was just so grateful that I didn't have to go to work and interact with people that I didn't want to or didn't feel like I needed to. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I am really tired of that meaningless chit chat. Like, the small talk, all of that just doesn't really, it doesn't, it doesn't do me any good. Like, it really drives me nuts. I feel like I'm being mentally drained, and I feel like I'm wasting my time. And I know it's terrible to say, but that's how I feel about it. And I wish, that wasn't the case. Like, I feel like we are putting on this show for people around us, and yeah, I really enjoy the fact that I can speak to people when I want to, not because I have to. Like, that is a luxury in itself. I love the fact that I can be alone for most of the day and be at nature or whatever. Like, it's honestly like a gift. I can't see myself doing meaningless work anymore. Like, I can't physically bring myself to a point to do work that I'm not passionate about. And obviously, I know there's certain terms and conditions when I say things like that, but I just realized I want to do things that will work towards the future that I want to build for myself. And obviously, I know that the future is only a figment of what we can put together, because it's crazy to think that, like, even though we plan so far ahead, and then something like this stops everything, it just makes me be more grateful for the time that I have. Like, I value my time so much more. Like, it's not like, oh, I could do this tomorrow. I could do this tomorrow. It's more so like, let me do this now while I have the time, while, you know, because the present is the only time that we have. The past is gone. The future will never come, you know? And I think there's comfort in being able to, you know, see your worth. Like 2020, I feel like the defining thing is to know your worth and to know that your life is valuable. Your time is valuable here. Like, we can go at any time. And I think that's been very clear through this. And obviously, I know a lot of us has gone through so many things in our own personal lives where that was probably made clear a long time ago. But universally and worldwide, it's just like, you can be gone now and everything that you've worked for can be just nothing. So why not just work on it while you're here? You know, so I just don't see, like, I value my time so much more. I'm so grateful that every day that I wake up, I'm breathing, I'm healthy, I'm walking, things like that. It's just things like that you have to be grateful for. And 2020 really solidified that for me. I just want to leave it on a little tidbit before I get going. But I just wanted to say that life is not just about making money and losing weight. It's so much more than that. Please hold those people that are close to you, close to your heart. Please make sure that you're doing things that you think are valuable to your time. Be grateful that you are here. And, you know, from the millions of people that have passed from the virus or for whatever conditions or tragedies, like, be grateful that you are here and that you are still able to experience this thing called life. And if you got to this point, thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you in another video. Bye.